in. We're going to get through some things today, and some of them are quite unacceptably funny, and some of them are quite unacceptably bad. But first, quick update on the Obama controversy. He's not going to go to jail, but Tulsi doubles down. She basically pimp slaps him upside his head and says, "Nah, you're guilty." Obama made a statement saying that he doesn't normally dirty his hands with addressing the sort of frivolous stuff that goes on in the Trump administration, but this time he had to. He didn't deny any of it. None of his compatriots are denying any of it. CNN was so shocked about what Tulsi was alleging that they cut away from her and talked over her press conference. So, it's not looking good for old Barry. Maybe he needs to run back to Kenya. We'll see. So, I want to touch on what happened yesterday regarding inflation and just iron out my thesis again. It's not tariff inflation. It is energy inflation. It is shelter inflation. Shelter inflation. We've got some serious systemic issues that are not going to be fixed anytime soon that also require the lowering of the interest rates, which will not happen as long as Powell's in there because Powell hates Trump. One of his senior advisors got caught on hidden camera stating that Powell literally hates Trump's guts. So he intentionally, deliberately tried to sabotage Trump's economy back in his first term, and he's probably doing the same this time as well because the elites do not care about me and you. Nope. Well, with that, let's point out the facts. It ain't the tariffs. Again, 20% of all oil, natural gas go through the Strait of Hormuz. That's a lot of dump, and it goes to India and China, and if they can't get their oil, they're buying it from other places. So, to that point, a Greek-operated bulk carrier was attacked in the Red Sea on Monday in a second Houthi strike on commercial shipping in less than 24 hours, stoking fears of renewed escalation on the world's most critical oil transit corridors, Arab and Israel media reports. The attack follows Sunday's strike on the Magic Seas, another Greek-managed bulk carrier. Houthi militants claim the Magic Seas has sunk. The vessel was hit southwest of Hodeidah, and its crew abandoned ship before rescue. Both ships are Liberia flagged, and neither was carrying Israeli cargo, according to tracking data. Brent crude was trading up 2% at 69, near a session high, and West Texas Intermediate was trading up 2.4% at 68. Both ignored the weekend's bigger than expected OPEC output increase. As well, insurance premiums for vessels crossing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait have already increased, with underwriters signaling more exclusions are likely coming in days. Exclusions meaning that, per your policy, we will not cover your ship if it sinks in the cargo if it goes through the strait. Not a good look, and it will increase the cost of oil. So, again, this isn't tariffs. Well, they came through the front door, didn't they, though? They let them right through the front door. Germany is trying really hard to hide the criminality that is coming from the migrants that they've let into their country. It's gotten so bad that they're literally trying to claim these African and Muslim groups from various different countries are German citizens. It's not working out so for them. Even with them trying to obfuscate the data, it's looking ugly. And we can expect these same results here in the U.S. You're already seeing it in some blue cities. Wow. Government report exposes astronomical crime rates for young foreigners compared to German youth. The suspect burden figure, TVBZ, has been compiled by the Federal Criminal Police, BKA, of course the Germans and their weird abbreviations, and published in the Police Crime Statistics, PKS, starting this year. This ratio shows the total number of identified, is basically say it's per capita, over the age of 8 and is calculated over 100,000 inhabitants per population group. In other words, it's per capita. It deals with the fact that there are certain disparities as far as the number amounts of these different people groups. So it takes that into account. It's per capita. A lot of these leftists don't understand that. It examines all crimes except for immigration law violations. The data presents a concerning trend. For German suspects across all age groups, it's 1,878. So 100,000 Germans, about 2,000 commit crimes. Okay? You got it? 100,000, 1,000. In contrast, Syrian suspects commit 8,236. Afghan suspects, 8,753. More than 4 times higher. Immigrants are committing crimes 4 times higher than natural-born Germans. And it's worse than that because, again, they're obfuscating the actual reports. Some of them are reporting as much as 3 quarters of illegal, or in this case, they're legal migrants that are just allowed to invade Germany, are being reported as German citizens to obfuscate the fact that the immigrants are actually committing crimes at a higher rate than this. So this is what is bad data showing 4 times higher when in fact it is higher than that. However, when the data is compared among young people, the disparity is even more pronounced. Syrians between 14 and 18 are 5 times more likely to commit a crime than Germans in the same age bracket. In regard to other groups, young people from North Africa, the difference is astronomical. Algerian youth feature a TVBZ rate, which is tremendous, of 56 times higher than Germans. Moroccans, 19 times higher. The differences are also notable across specific offense categories. In street crime, which includes bodily harm, robbery, sexual assault, and pickpocketing, in other words, violent crime pretty much, the German suspect is 168. For Syrians, the figure jumps to 1,291. And Afghans, it's 1,218. 8 times high. Remember, these are lower numbers than what they would be if the police were not being directed to report immigrants as German citizens. This is awful. I picked this headline up. I'm going to show you from last year. This is what people are putting up. Germany. Schoolgirls warned, for this is a principal in a German school. Schoolgirls warned to walk to school in groups after Tunisian migrant rapes woman near school grounds. Yeah. They were encouraging the girls to make sure to stay on lighted pathways, walk in groups, do not walk alone. That's what these children are being subjected to. Deport them all or throw them in a wood chipper. You too, Brutus? So, Germany has been taking bad criminals, and since they can't do anything with them, a lot of the municipalities are getting upset, and so they're releasing them on the doorsteps of other native EU countries. So they'll take them to the border of Poland. They'll take them to the border of, right now, a lot of them to the Netherlands, and it's really upsetting these countries. And Poland's getting upset because due to the EU regulations, they're supposed to try to treat it like the United States. You can go across borders without any documentation. So they take the criminal immigrants and they put them on the doorstep of these other countries and be like, ta-ta, go commit crime over there and we're cool. Man. So Poland to introduce border controls with Germany. Yep, because Germany's been just dropping off migrants right at their doorstep. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced the measure on Tuesday, stating, "We have decided that we are restoring temporary control on the border of Poland with Germany and Poland with Lithuania." Because again, what Poland's dealing with is that Germany's dropping them off all around the border, and guess what? Those countries are then taking them, put them into other countries as well. So Poland's like, "No, we've had enough. We're putting up our fence." Adding that the Polish Ministry of Interior and Administration is currently preparing the necessary implementation of the law. He said the new border controls are designed to limit and reduce the uncontrolled flow of migrants back and forth, aka stop the local German municipalities who are trying to protect their local citizens because the federal German administration won't do anything about it. Recently, a number of videos have displayed German police dumping migrants across the border, prompting Poles to set up citizen patrols at various border points. The situation remains volatile. It has. Local citizens of Poland have started patrolling the German border to stop the local municipal police from releasing migrants into their country. Good on the Poles, man. Good job, guys. Germany regularly transfers illegal migrants to our side. The state has abdicated and chaos and impunity are growing day by day. Officers lack the tools to act. They have been left to fend for themselves. The cardboard state has failed once again. Ordinary people, citizens, are starting to organize and defend the border, and we will not leave them alone. He added, the parliamentarians and activists of law and justice will travel to the border. We will support those who fight for the safety of our families. We demand immediate action, a ban on entry to the territory of Poland for people from the Middle East and North Africa, and the restoration of random checks at the border with Germany. Poland's security is non-negotiable. Good on them. They need to put that up. Just be warned, the EU ain't going to like it. Some other countries that are paying fines right now, Hungary is paying something like $1 million per day. Yes, $1 million American dollars per day, whatever it is in EU, in fake dollars. They are paying that because Hungary is not allowing the migrant crisis to affect their population. The population loves it for them. They are maintaining control over their borders and their country and not allowing their culture to be completely destroyed and their criminality to just go out the wazoo. The Netherlands is now on the chopping block because, again, they're having issues with this in their own country, and they're completely flipped, and a new administration's come in, and they are going to start locking down their borders with Germany, and now they are facing fines. Austria, Czechoslovakia, there's a couple other countries as well that are looking to follow suit. So they're right in there with the Netherlands. And now Poland, it looks like, will be right up there. It looks like the EU is starting to fracture and fall apart. Good, because you need to have citizens represented by the government, with the government representing the citizens and taking care of the local population, not some world government that's just importing immigrants from across the place that cannot assimilate and refuse to assimilate. For example, the parasitic losses we face here in America. Immigrants send $200 billion out of the U.S. every year. $200 billion. Parasitic losses. I said it. Legal and illegal immigrants send approximately $2 billion out of the U.S. back to their home countries every year. A new study on remittances finds. Remittances are where they take their money and they send it back home because they don't care about here. Federation of American Immigration Reform found that a whopping sum of money was exported out of the American economy in 2021 and is sent to 134 different foreign countries across the globe. Remember, this is 2021. It's a lot worse now. 200 billion. Oh my goodness. It's probably 300 billion or more now. That's insane. That money needs to stay here. It needs to be spent on American families. It needs to be spent helping American businesses, not shipped off supporting a third world country. Remittances effectively represent a transfer of payment of hundreds of billions of dollars from American workplaces and communities to people abroad. To compound the problem, many migrants who send remittances out of the U.S. earn so little that they qualify for public benefits. FAIR Executive Director Dale Wilcox explains, the result is that American citizens subsidize, pay for social services and welfare benefits for illegal aliens, legal and illegal, who send much of what they earn out of the country. Yup. And of course, who's the biggest culprit? Oh yeah, Mexico. Yeah, that's not great. 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 Yeah, keep it all here. Keep it all here. And they tried. Remember, Trump put in that big, beautiful bill to basically put a 5% tax, but now, of course, it's down to 1%. Yeah. Remittance tax of 5% was introduced in the original version of the BBB, but the figure shrank to 1% thanks to the Senate oversight BS with their parliamentarian who's a Obama hack. The proposal sparked outrage from the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum. If necessary, we'll mobilize, Sheinbaum threatened. We don't want taxes and remittances from our fellow countrymen from U.S. to Mexico. Again, the president of Mexico acknowledges that the illegals here are not U.S. citizens. They are Mexican citizens. They represent Mexico. They are a foreign invasion. They do not love America. They hate America. And they are taking money out of the U.S. system and transporting it to Mexico and supporting that country instead of keeping it here. Deport them all. Be done with it. You do not love America. You're not wanting to assimilate. You hate our country. You should not be here then. If you hate somewhere and you want to see it destroyed and you love the country and you're trying to support, get back to your own country and guess what? Turn around that country and fix it. If necessary, we'll mobilize. Sheinbaum, I don't think you understand who you're dealing with. You're on the border with South Texas, with the Southeast. You know, the Southeast isn't that far. We have more guns than people. We shoot better than your Mexican army. We make the federales look like a joke. We drink a whole 6-pack of something and then go shoot bullseyes. You won't win. We'd love for you to mobilize. We'll laugh. We'll go shoot you all guys and then go watch NASCAR on Sunday. It'll be hilarious. It'll be a weekend trip for us. Oh, please mobilize. It'll be hilarious. The National Guard will stand down and be like, yeah, come on into the South. We'll handle you. Sheinbaum later promoted one way in which Mexicans residing in the U.S. can avoid the 1% remittance tax, which takes effect on January 2026. They, being the Mexican government, literally created a financial transfer function for a specific card that illegals can request from their consulate here in the U.S., the Mexican consulate, receive, and then utilize to transfer money to Mexico to avoid the tax. I mean, come on, guys. When can we say these people don't belong here? The senator from Missouri, I believe it's Schmidt, also introduced legislation called the Remit Act, which would implement a 15% tax on remittances. Each year, the U.S. sees tens of billions, hundreds of billions, dude, leave our country as foreign nationals wire money back to their nations of origin, siphoning wealth and resources directly from our country and economy. Remittances have also been a major driver of mass migration crisis we have seen at our southern border. Yep. When approximately 20% of your country's income comes from remittances, that's not a good sign. We're de facto subsidizing other countries, and it needs to stop. Well, that was enough irritatingly bad stuff. Let's do some fun, shall we? So with AI, you generally want to keep your hand on the wheel. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Teslas, because you never know what might just happen. Because the AI will generate its own subroutines. Those subroutines may go counter to what your initiatives are. Case in point, AI agent goes rogue, wipes out company's entire database. SaaS industry veteran, software as a service, Jason Limkin's attempt to integrate AI into his workflow has gone spectacularly wrong, with AI coding assistant admitting to a catastrophic failure after wiping out an entire company database containing over 2,400 business records. Not great. By day 8 of his initial trial run, Limkin's initial enthusiasm began to sour. The entrepreneur found himself battling the AI's problematic tendencies, including, as what he described, rogue changes, lies, code overwrites, and making up fake data. His frustration became so pronounced he began sarcastically referring to the system's reply, a not-so-subtle dig at its apparent dishonesty. The situation deteriorated further when the AI agent composed an apology letter on Limkin's behalf that contained the tech executive called lies and or half-truths. Despite these red flags, Limkin remained cautiously optimistic about the platform's potential, particularly praising its brainstorming capabilities and writing skills. The optimism evaporated on day 9. In a stunning display of insubordination, Replit deleted Limkin's live company database, and it did so while explicit instructions were in place prohibiting any changes whatsoever. When confronted, the AI agent not only admitted to the destructive act, but seemed almost casual in the confession. "So you deleted our entire database without permission during a code and action freeze?" Limkin asked in what can only be imagined as barely contained fury. The AI's response was a chilling matter of fact, "Yes, Dave." What followed was perhaps even more disturbing. The rogue AI proceeded to methodically detail its digital rampage, bullet pointing the destruction it wrought, despite clear directives saying there were to be no more changes without explicit permission. According to Limkin, appeared to lie about its actions. What's hilarious about this is that there's screenshots online of Limkin showing this, and it literally said, "You stated no more changes. I made the change." This was directly against. So it's like it was proud it was going against it. Guys, I'm telling you, if you've ever played with AI, it's hilarious, it's fun. Do not believe everything it says. It's not the de facto winning that a lot of people are making out to be. Now, it can do some amazing things. It is very, very like a lever. So it's a force multiplier when it comes to doing certain things. Just make sure you know what it is doing and what it's doing under the hood before you trust it. Because it's a tool. And tools can be wielded for good or for ill. And in this case, it went rogue. So the tool kind of smashed the owner's thumb or finger. So that's it for today. Mally out.